Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Knights of the Alternate Histories, and in today's video we're going to be going over what if the Fenian Raid succeeded, mainly the 1970 Fenian Raid, because that's the one that came closest to succeeded, and you might notice, hey, that's not the typical logo on the screen. No, this is a collaboration with RJM3 Alternate Histories, so his video is going to be linked in the description, so make sure to go check it out after you're done watching this, because this is part 1, and yeah, let's get into the video. So, what exactly was the Fenian Raids? Well, the Fenian Raids were a 1960s through 1970 experience where the Fenian Brotherhood, a group of Irishmen in exile, took their rifles that they got to keep from the American Civil War and marched on Canada to try and take it over and hold it hostage for Britain to pay out. Overall, it was a horrible failure in our timeline. But, what if the 1971 succeeded? How would it? Well, the reason it would succeed is because they would do what Lenin did before Lenin did it. Capture telegram office, post office, and city halls. Just capture the important bits and have the rest surrender. This is what Lenin did during the Russian Revolution, and it was a tactic that was used kind of rarely, but for a society this small, they would have to use it. And they would be successful because they would be picking up new recruits on the way. With a couple of battles successfully won, Irish Canadians and Irish Americans would start flocking to join the Brotherhood, thinking, maybe we could really free our homeland again. Doing so, they would just quickly invade. Canada, thinking, oh, I'm overconfident, would basically do a strategy of wait for Britain to come and save them. But Britain would be too busy trying to deal with another international incident. So the map would look like this. Going over the Canadian southern border, they would quickly just push through, trying to capture Ontario, which would be fought for pretty harshly. And they would just keep on trying to push up, making small gains, but not trying to overexert their force to not being able to hold all this territory they're getting. They would need to have some sort of ally. And as they would start marching towards Quebec, they could start trying to find one. Soon, as well as Irish Canadians, French Canadians would also start joining up, thinking, yeah, let's stick it to these Brits. And they would be really successful. They would manage to take more territory, and Quebec's official government might even side with them. So, making a couple deals behind the scenes, and still trying to push to try and get a good strong Quebec, the Quebec government would tell its people to arm themselves. And when Quebec and the Fenian Brotherhood agreed, they would agree that no one would be a second-class citizen, that it would be official to speak English, Irish, and French. I mean, except for those English, they would definitely become second-class citizens even though they're the majority. And soon, the Irish Brotherhood would just start coming in, and the French Canadians would arm themselves in well-regulated militias and rebel, and Canada would lose cities. And boom, just like that, the major population centers of Canada at this time would be captured, and the Canadian government, now knowing that Britain couldn't help them, would be forced to surrender. And Britain might try and come, but now this is a new nation rising up against its oppressive overlords. And according to the Monroe Doctrine, that means Britain would declare war on the USA. And Fenian Canada would be created, and the US would immediately guarantee its independence. Now not having to worry about Britain trying to come and invade from the north. Remember, this is right after the Civil War, so tensions between Britain and the USA are still pretty tight, because Britain almost supported the Confederacy, and if it wasn't from Lincoln's quick thinking, they would have. So, the USA would basically get its revenge, and Britain would not be happy about this at all. They try and cut off all ties with the US, just trying to ignore them completely. But the US will overall not care at all. They would try and make an alliance with Fenian Canada, and they would accept. But this might have a negative repercussion to it. The negative effect being that soon the Irish majority in northern cities would start fleeing to Ireland or Fenian Canada. And they would do this because it's truly an Irish home now. The English would be forced to leave or be prosecuted, basically. And a lot of Irishmen would start coming to Canada, forgetting about their homeland. As well, the French would love Fenian Canada because they truly treated the Frenchmen in Quebec as equal citizens, and that was kind of a huge deal for France at the time. I know it isn't now, but that was really something on France's priorities. And knowing that Germany was getting quite strong, they would need a good backup. I mean, what's Germany gonna do? But Britain would hate this. Another thing to mention is Australia. Australia was still a penal colony, but now it would have to become the new investment colony. Soon the amounts of resources that was going into Canada would be pummeled into Australia, and India would become the new penal colony. Even though India has a larger majority, soon British convicts would start getting sent over there, and Australia would become Canada, and India would become Australia. And 1914, and the map looks like this. And Britain has basically cut off all ties with Europe. Hey, what else is new? And they just say, look, we don't care anymore. You betrayed us, basically. You hurt us by helping the Irish gain our colonies, so we're just gonna forget about you. And the Central Powers would gain France. And, oh no, Archduke Ferdinand, don't go down that road. And they went down the road, and assassination. Now, something's different now. Because France is so anti-British, because they see that since they want Ireland back, Ireland, Canada, they're just gonna try and oppress their people even more, even if they're not really their people anymore. So, they would join and here are basically the alliance would form. The Central Powers, wow, they actually exist in Central Europe. And kind of the Russian bloc. Bulgaria would want to get out under Russia's thumb, but what really could they do? And Serbia, well, they just got declared war on. So, it's time for World War I. Oh no. And despite all appearances, because France still being salty about the Franco-Prussian War, they would actually defend them. They would say, no, we signed a pact to try and get rid of the British. Now the Russians declared war, so we're going to join you. Which is kind of honorable for France. I don't think they would betray us anywhere later, foreshadowing. But anyways, basic World War I borders, and Bulgaria still hasn't joined the war yet. And with extra French troops, they would totally manage to just smash through the borders. Even though the French troops were quite inexperienced, you can't deny good manpower, and Germany having the industry to fight off Russia, Serbia and Romania would basically get broken down, with Austria and French horde of poorly equipped, poorly undertrained soldiers. And these soldiers would become kind of the elite of the elite, managing to be stronger and more powerful. Once they break Romania and Serbia, they can just steamroll Russia. And Germany, having a pretty easier time because they didn't have to deal with the Western Front, could just focus all of their resources until they're threatening a total collapse of the Russian state. And that's where I'm leaving you. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this amazing video. I hope you guys do enjoy. We've been gaining subscribers recently, which, yay, exciting! Yeah, this is a collaboration, so make sure to go up and check the video icon on the right for RJM3 AH's channel name. And, also, if you're from RJ's, welcome. Stick around. Or else. Just kidding. Wow, what a great video. On the left, that's a video I think you should watch. And on the right, that's RJ's video. I mean, you should just pick RJ's, because my content is horrible, and RJ's is amazing. Which is why you should totally watch it. Okay, have a good one, bye!